So this is going to be a full guide on the agency in GTA Online in 2023. So this week it is double money, but this could be a guide for even when it's not double money. But this week it is paying out $2 million. Usually it pays out $1 million, but you could get this done in about an hour and a half. Just going casual like I did. I tested this out all last night making this guide for you guys. And we're going to go in depth in it in this video. So first we're going to start off with buying it, all the customization options and everything basic like that. Then we'll get into the best location to get it. Then we'll get into the money making methods, which is what you're here to see. We'll get into the contracts, the security contracts, the VIP contracts, which is the Dr. Dre Heist that pays out $1 million usually. And then the short trip missions, and then the payphone hits, which is also 1.5 times GTA Cash NRP this week. So let's start off with buying it. So you have 4 different locations to buy it at. They're all pretty much the same, so choose whichever one you want. If you are just new to this, I would just go with the cheapest option because that's in one of the best locations too. So the cheapest location is Little Seoul at $2,010,000. That's all. That's the base price you have to get into this, unless you want any of the customization options, and then it'll be a lot more. You could get up to $3 million, but $2 million is a base price if you just want nothing and just to get the agency just to do this contract with. Next is the Vespucci Canals at $2,145,000. Next is Rockford Hills at $2,415,000. And then the most expensive is Holwick. That is by the casino at $2,830,000. Of course, that's one I have because I have to go all out in GTA Online. But yeah, if you want to save some money and still have one of the best locations, just go with Little Seoul at just over $2 million. After the recent update, you could do everything with a helicopter. Even if you're delivering anything to the agency in the contract mission, you could just go through the helicopter. So that's a big improvement they made. So really, locations don't really matter anymore. So just go with the cheapest option or go with the most expensive. Now moving on to customization options, I'm going to make this as fast as possible because probably most people don't care about these except for the last 3. So first we have all the art customization options. Pretty basic. All they do is change the look of the walls and stuff. So that is a total skip if I'm being honest. Next is wallpaper, another skip option you probably don't care about. You also have highlights for the walls, which are all $100,000. But all of these customization options, if you don't pick any other ones, they're all free. So you don't have to spend anything if you don't want to change the layout. So if you don't want to change the layout and don't spend the money, don't change the layout because it will still be free. But the next 3 are the major upgrades you probably want to have if you have the money, but you could also pretty much skip on. First is the armory. This is $720,000. This allows you to customize all of your weapons and buy new weapons too. You can buy any weapon in the game in the armory, and it allows you to customize your Mark II weapon. So if you don't have a Avenger, you might want to get this because it is very cool to have. I mean, it's just good quality of life things you have in the agency that you visit all the time, and get some important explosive ammo for your sniper rifle. So if you do have the money, I would get this. But also, if you have the money, I would get the accommodations, which is only $275,000. So this just basically allows you to spawn in your agency whenever you want and sleep in it, and you do get access to a bunch of other cool stuff in the agency. But this, if you are doing missions and it ends outside of your agency, you just switch back into an invite-only session, which, remember, only takes about 5 seconds nowadays on current-gen consoles. So switch into another invite-only sessions, boom, you're inside of your agency, ready to set up the new contract. That is a huge help and saves a ton of time. But again, you don't need that, and you might want to save up for the next option, the vehicle workshop. This is $800,000, and this is how you get Imma Tech, one of the most important upgrades for any vehicle in GTA Online now. Imma Tech prevents other people from locking onto you with any kind of homing launcher or rockets or anything. So they cannot lock onto you. This is very good for free remote. It's a must-have, guys. So vehicle workshop, if you do have the money, I would definitely buy that. So going into your agency for the first time, you will get into a cutscene. They will introduce you to Franklin, Chop, Lamar. Lamar has a little crush on Imani. Let's just move past that part right there. But then it will introduce you to your laptop or PC knockoff MacBook in the office. So this is how you get the Dr. Dre missions and the security contracts. So how do you do Dr. Dre missions? Well, first you have to do some of the contracts, the security contracts. I think you'll only have to do 1 or 2, and then Franklin will call you about the Dr. Dre stuff. But let's get into the contracts first, and I will have chapters for you guys if you want to skip to the contract part or whatever. But this is a security contracts. Now there are 3 different levels of security contracts with 4 different mission types. So first level is professional, the second is specialist, and the third is specialist plus. Now it goes in order. The professional is the cheapest and specialist plus is the most expensive. It pays you the most. And that could be assigned with any of these 4 different mission types. So it's completely random which level it assigns each mission at. So it could be the hardest mission with the cheapest payout or the easiest mission with the most expensive payout. So what are these 4 different types of missions? You have rescue operation. You have to go find the client and take out a few guys attacking him and then bring him back to a drop-off location. Pretty easy. You can do that in a helicopter, so that's a good tip for you guys. I did make a whole another video on tips about completing these the fastest way possible that I found. So I'll link that in the description for you guys if you want to check it out. But I won't go too much into tips in this video, just a basic rundown. Next is asset protection. Now this one is a total skip. If you see this one, just find a new session because it is a timed mission. It is timed by 10 minutes, so you have to wait the 10 minutes before it ends. And to be honest, even as a veteran player myself, it's kind of hard to protect these crates and protect everyone protecting them. So just totally skip this one because sometimes, especially if it's not specialist plus, just skip it. Next is liquidize assets. So you have to go to a warehouse, go inside, take out a few crates and some guys, then you have to blow the warehouse up, and that's pretty basic right there, pretty fast too. Then we have vehicle recovery. This one can be another skip. I think there is a certain mission on this one where you have to go all the way up to a Merryweather base and deliver a slow van all the way to a city, so that if you see something that says go to the Merryweather headquarters, skip that one because that one takes way too long. But other than that, this one is pretty easy. You have to go steal a car, bring it back to the agency, and that's pretty much it. And then next is recover valuables. This one, you have to go to a location. You could go to a club, the Tequila La. I think there's one more. But these ones you have to go find a safe code. Usually the safe code will be sitting on a table somewhere or hanging on a post wall. So go look for a table or a wall where stuff is hanging at and you could find it very fast. Then all you have to do is open up the safe with the code and then bring it back to the agency. And again, you can use a helicopter with these now. So use a helicopter, any helicopter works. So if you don't have a Press Mark II or a Hokuchu Drag, that's a very good one too, very fast. I would just fly any kind of helicopter, whether it be a CEO helicopter or a Saka helicopter, any of those work. But once you do 1 or 2 of those security contracts, you get access to the VIP contract, which is the Dr. Dre Heist. So once you complete 1 or 2 security contracts, you have to wait for a phone call from Franklin. But if you already completed security contracts, don't worry about it because you already have access to it to replay it. So it pays out a normal $1 million, which is pretty crazy for just about an hour basically. But me just playing casually, I got it to like an hour and 25 minutes, which is still pretty good for casual playing. Like $1 million usually, this week $2 million, so definitely hop on this, just do it a few times because it's a good change of pace for money making methods. Instead of grinding out the Cayo Perico heist, let's say, this is a good change of pace. Now, it does have unskippable cutscenes, so that does add a lot of time onto this. If you didn't have to watch all cutscenes, you could get below an hour, but it does have cutscenes that you have to watch and sit there for so long watching. Make sure you have some music on or something because hearing that same song, same world premiere song each time you play this is kind of annoying. So you have 7 of these missions. 3 of them are missions that you have to actually go out and do. The other 4 are basically kind of setup missions or ending missions. So on course is a mission where you get introduced to Dr. Dre, go out to his golf course, just meet him up, meet Franklin and everything. That is basically the intro to this whole thing. Not much else to do in that mission. I think you do have to follow this guy and beat him up with the golf club. So that's basically it. The next setup mission is data recovery. Once you do these two, you never have to do them again. I played this last night and I didn't have to do them, so once you get these done with, you don't have to play them again. So if you already completed it once, ignore this part. So moving on to the main ones. First is the nightlife leak. So all of these are 3 parts. Part 1 and 2 are just free mode missions. Part 3 is the mission that you have to load into and complete. So the nightlife leak is pretty much just going around and getting a bunch of different stuff. The first one, you have to go into a nightclub and steal something. The second one, you have to go onto a yacht. Now the yacht one is pretty tricky. A little tip is once you do take a picture of the items it wants you to take a picture of, just take yourself out, let someone kill you, and then you will spawn on a jet ski, and then it's pretty easy to get away from. If you do try to get off on a helicopter, I think they will blow you up, but also the other helicopter has insane aimbot and will take you down super fast. So just take a boat out. Probably a sea shark will be the best option. And then part 3, which is the mission, you have to go to a diamond casino and resort and you have to chase down this guy playing Dr. Dre's music and take him out. You have to steal whatever he has and then go back to the agency. That's pretty much it. I completed all 3 of these parts in about 15 minutes, so very easy to do. And then once you completed that, and then you could go on to the high society leak. So again, 3 parts. Part 1 or 2 are just free mode missions, and part 3 is the main mission. So for part 1, a big tip I'll give you guys here is this one, you have to follow a limo and follow the guy and then steal something from him in an alleyway, take him out in an alleyway and bring it back to the agency. But when you get to the limo, you can actually just blow him up and then steal his wallet off of him. So do that, saves you a ton of time. Now the next one is the South Central Leak. This is the last kind of main mission. Then we have the last 2 missions. The next one is Studio Time. This one is just a little side mission, not really giving much to a story. All you have to do is go to Dr. Dre's record studio and then take all of the guys out there. Using a shotgun is very good in this one because it is close quarters indoors. And one of the most unique missions too in recent memory of this whole game because it's a unique interior that's new to this DLC. But yeah, once you do that, you are going to have to listen to a long cutscene of them singing or just make sure to have something in the background to do with this one. And then the last one, the big heist with Dr. Dre. Now this one you have to go to a few different locations. The first one you have to go to somewhere and take out a few different guys. But then you have to go to the hangar, and this one will be probably the hardest part of this whole mission. You have to take out a ton of guys in the hangar, and then you have to go up to Johnny. So the best way to get this, Johnny will be on the little platform above. So I would get a minigun or explosive rifle too, and headshot him. Make sure to not get in his, make sure to not back too far up to where he gets to shoot you because he does have some crazy aimbot. So just make sure, just make his head pop out and then you can take him out pretty easily after that. And then you have to drive Dr. Dre's car all the way to the country club and he will fly off somewhere to his personal yacht or whatever. Pretty cool cutscene to be honest. And then you will listen to his world premiere over and over again every time you repeat this. World premiere, baby. But yeah, that's the Dr. Dre heist. I tested this out last night. It only took me about an hour and 25 minutes to complete this casually. So that's $2 million. If you want to speedrun this, you could get it in almost an hour. So that's $2 million in an hour. Very good. And if you have some AFK businesses running in the background, you could add it on top of that. Maybe even $3 million per hour. Very good way of making money this week. So next is the Payphone hits. One of the best ways to make money, even while not double money, it's still a very good way to make money. You get about $100,000, maybe even more sometimes. And this week it is 1.5 times cash NRP on this mission. So you get about $150,000 on average. So that's very good. Do this in between contract missions too. Do this in between contract missions and the Dr. Dre missions because this is a very good way to make money. This whole agency is one of the best ways, just as a business as a whole with everything it offers, is one of the best ways to make money at the game. So, Payphone hits. Each Payphone hit will be different. There's 8 different type of missions. All of them are pretty much the same. You have to go to different locations, but here is where you make the money. So, they have a certain way, a goal they want you to take out the leader and associates. So if you follow the on-screen prompt of the way they want you to take the guys out, you could earn, so completing the assassination target with a special condition will get you a total of $85,000, and times that this week by 1.5, that is a good profit you are making just for 5 minutes. If you miss it somehow, you only get paid about $15,000, which is pretty bad. So you're gonna definitely want to complete the prompt. It says on screen the preferred way to take them out. I think one of them was taking the guy out by running him over with a bulldozer, so that one is pretty simple. Just take your time on it, because even if you take your time, it's still pretty fast after. I personally complete most of these in 5 minutes. 10 minutes is still good for this because it's over $100,000. So definitely worth the 5 minutes it takes. And next are the short trip missions. Now these are unlocked after you complete the Dr. Dre contract, or you could also just join a random person playing them. But if you want to host them and play as Franklin, you're going to have to complete the Dr. Dre stuff yourself. So there are 3 different types of these short trip missions. One is Sea Capital, the other is Fire It Up, and the third is OG Kush. Now these are really fun. They pay out about $40,000 on average, I found. Sometimes lower if you sometimes lower if you go faster, because these are timed based. The more time you spend in it, the more you get paid, but it's not worth staying in it for a longer period of time. Just complete it casually, that's what I would say. They're all pretty easy to do. Now one more thing I want to touch on, which is kind of big if you complete all the security contracts, is the safe inside of the agency office. So each time you complete a security contract, the safe will increase by $500. So the safe can give you $20,000 per day. That's 48 minutes in the game, which is kind of huge. One of the best safes in the game. But how do you do this? This part is kind of a grind. So every 5 security contracts, it increases by $500. So that means you have to complete 200 security contracts to get the maximum daily take for the safe. So once you complete 200, you will get $20,000 per every 48 minutes in real life. And the max capacity of the safe is $250,000. That is insane. Definitely the best safe in the game to do if you do complete the security contracts. But even if you complete 100, it's still pretty good. So definitely this week, when it is 1.5 times money NRP, or when it's double money, definitely do as many of these as possible and work towards up that 200 goal, because that's the AFK money right there. That is priceless. It doesn't get any better than AFK money, real AFK money. And then just for the contacts in your phone, by calling Franklin, you could request the security contracts, Payphone hits, a free company SUV, and the SUV fast travel service, and a supply stash, which gives you some ammo, health, and armor for $5,000. Remove that option from your phone. Do not pick that option. And then you have Imma. Imma gives you out of sight, which is $12,000, but this is an unlimited out of sight. You get this for the whole time you stay in the session for 500 meters. This is huge. So definitely use this. If you're thinking about going off the radar, use this instead, because it is huge. And then you could source a motorcycle for $2,000. I don't know who even used that. I forgot that was even an option. So that is a whole rundown and in-depth guide on the agency. They did make a few updates to the agency, all quality of life changes. So that is a whole in-depth rundown guide on the agency in GTA Online. Still one of the best businesses to have. Buying an agency gets you all of these ways to make money, and especially when it's double money for the Dr. Dre Heist and 1.5 times cash NRP on the Payphone hits. And then that will give you a pretty good amount of money. And then again, have some businesses running in the background, like the lab business. You could easily get up to $3 million per hour this week, maybe even more. But if you guys found this helpful, leave a like if you got this far. That probably means you liked it, and subscribe to see whatever video I make next.